and board director at the Ukrainian American Community Center, to read a letter from our own Representative Betty McCollum.
Now, I would like to read remarks on behalf of the Congresswoman McCollum. Dear friends, thank you for the invitation to join you today as we gather to stand in solidarity with Ukraine and the defense of freedom and democracy. Okay, better now? Okay. Okay, I'm going to yell. I haven't done that before, so bear with me. Do it? Okay. Got it. Now I'm going to read remarks on behalf of the Congresswoman McCollum. Dear friends, thank you so much for the invitation to join you today as you gather to stand in solidarity with Ukraine and in defense of freedom and democracy. While I regret that I'm unable to be with you in person, I want to extend my deepest support and best wishes for a powerful and successful event. It is fitting that you have chosen to gather here at the Minnesota State Capitol, a symbol of our own democracy and a reminder of the freedoms that we hold dear. As we stand here in solidarity, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty, security, and its right to self-determination. While I am relieved that military assistance has been restored, I remain steadfast in my belief that the United States must never waver in support for Ukraine. Any hesitation in providing critical aid weakens Ukraine's position on the battlefield and only emboldens Russian aggression. The consequences of inaction are dire, not just for Ukraine, but for global security and democratic values worldwide. As we recently marked the 3rd anniversary of Russia's brutal full-scale invasion, I continue to be inspired by the resilience, courage, and determination of the Ukrainian people. I have had privilege of meeting President Zelensky on multiple occasions, and his unwavering leadership in the face of unimaginable adversity is nothing short of remarkable. His commitment to defending Ukraine's democracy must be met with an equally strong commitment from the United States. We must remain united. We must continue to strengthen Ukraine, not weaken it. Only through unwavering support can Ukraine achieve lasting peace and security. Thank you again. Once again, thank you so much for gathering here today to make your voices heard. I stand with you in defense of freedom and democracy, today, tomorrow, and always. Sincerely, Congresswoman Betty McCollum. And now I would like to add a few remarks from me and myself, from Maria Doan. I urge each and every one of you to take action today. I'm really grateful that you showed up here to the rally, and we're honored to have you here. But also, please remember to call your members of Congress. Please make sure that you make your voices heard. Please remind them that standing up to tyranny is not optional. It is our duty. Your voice matters. Your calls, your emails, your advocacy, that all makes a difference. Let's stand together, let's take action, and ensure that the United States remains a steadfast ally for Ukraine. Call today. Stand with Ukraine. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And now it is my great honor and privilege to introduce our next speaker, Professor Kathleen Collins. Kathleen Collins is a distinguished political scientist and a steadfast ally of Ukraine. As a faculty member at the University of Minnesota, she specializes in comparative politics with a deep focus on post-Soviet states and democratization. Dr. Collins has been a vocal advocate for Ukraine, using her expertise to highlight the country's struggle for democracy, sovereignty, and security in the face of Russian aggression. Her extensive research and publication of post-Soviet transitions, governance, and political violence have provided critical insights into the challenges Ukraine faces and the broader geopolitical stakes of this war. A respected scholar and speaker, Dr. Collins has actively engaged in discussions and advocacy efforts to support Ukraine, emphasizing the importance of sustained Ukraine and international assistance.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Thank you to the Ukrainian American Community Center. And thank you to Stand with Ukraine, Minnesota. Thank you to all of you who have joined us here today at the state capitol. I am honored to stand here among you. And I am humbled by all Ukrainians who every morning, yet again, summon the courage and determination to resist Russia's genocidal war. For over 3 years, Ukrainians have been fighting for their liberty and independence, fighting for their democracy, fighting for their human dignity, fighting for the survival of their national identity, and fighting for the return of their abducted children. My fellow Americans, we share these values. We respect these dreams. We too want to protect our liberty and our children. We stand with Ukraine. It is our shared values, not Republican values or Democratic values, but American values that unite us with Ukraine. The importance of building alliances grounded in these values should compel us to continue and to increase our support for Ukraine's fight for freedom. Through humanitarian donations, through military aid and economic sanctions, and through our leadership of the free democratic world. We may debate how best to end this war, but as Americans, we have a duty to demand that our leaders uphold our nation's values. As Americans, we have a duty to demand that our leaders speak the truth as they seek peace. Unmistakable truth is this: Mr. Putin is the illegitimate dictator. Not President Zelensky. Mr. Putin started this war of conquest. Mr. Putin has grabbed people off the streets and forced them to the front. The poor, the migrants, the prisoners, together with underfed North Korean conscripts, not President Zelensky. Mr. Putin is ordering the slaughter of innocent civilians, the kidnapping of thousands of children for communist-style re-education, and the torture and murder of POWs, not President Zelensky. manipulated and broken ceasefire agreements time and again in order to gain the military advantage and more territory, not President Zelensky. It is Mr. Putin and his war machine that have repeatedly rejected peace. The truth is that President Zelensky and all Ukrainians seek peace. They seek a just peace. America, too, must support a just peace. Not appeasement on Russia's terms.
Can you guys hear?
Ceding 20% of you. Ceding 20% of Ukraine's territory and refusing to guarantee Ukraine's security is not a just peace. It's appeasement on Russia's terms. When Russia's military rebuilds and its economy revives, Russia will again assert its imperialist agenda. Appeasement puts not only Ukraine but all of NATO at risk. After Neville Chamberlain's capitulation to Hitler at Munich, Winston Churchill declared, "We have sustained a defeat without a war, the consequences of which will travel far with us. Do not suppose that this is the end. This is only the first sip, the first foretaste of a bitter cup, until we arise again and take our stand for freedom." Indeed, the democratic West's appeasement of Hitler ushered in World War II. 6 years of unspeakable destruction with tens of millions of deaths. And it was the West's appeasement of Stalin at the close of that war which led to the descent of an Iron Curtain across Europe, separating free nations from enslaved ones. Those trapped behind that Iron Curtain included Ukrainians, Estonians, Latvians, and Lithuanians, among many others. The grandparents of many members of our Minnesota community today. Early on in the Cold War, Americans had learned the lesson of failed appeasement, and we were united in defending freedom. Democratic President Harry Truman declared in the Truman Doctrine that America was committed to assisting free peoples in their struggles against totalitarian regimes. Regimes which undermine the foundations of international peace and hence the security of the United States. Likewise, Republican President Dwight D. Eisenhower urged a strong defense through NATO. President Eisenhower said, "No nation has ever been successful in avoiding the terrors of war by attempting to placate aggression."
If you haven't liked the video, share the stream, let me get a plus plus. Let me know where you're watching from. This is live in Minnesota.
For over 75 years, our nation has stood united with other democracies, ready to defend our liberty. Through an unflinching alliance with our NATO partners, we have preserved freedom and human dignity for the hundreds of millions living within our protection. We have been a shining city on a hill for millions more who have fled tyranny and indignity. The new administration talks of making America great again. My fellow Americans, America's true greatness lies in our values. Lincoln explained, America is good, and if America ever ceases to be good, America will cease to be great. The source of our strength in the quest for human freedom is not material, but spiritual. It knows no limitation, so it must terrify and ultimately triumph over those who would enslave their fellow man. My fellow Americans, we too must be true to our values, to the values that we share with Ukraine. We must be true to our mutual quest for human freedom and to our desire for a world in which no human being is enslaved. As President John F. Kennedy said, freedom is indivisible. And when one man is enslaved, all are not free. We must stand with Ukraine. We must keep standing with Ukraine until Russia's genocidal war ends. Until Ukraine is free and secure within the democratic West and NATO. Слава Україні!
Thank you very much, Professor Collins. I'm going to remind everybody what we all know is already true. If Russia stops fighting, the war can end today. If Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine will cease to exist. USA! Stands with Ukraine! USA! Stands with Ukraine! USA! Stands with Ukraine! How about a song? I'm going to invite Alexa Knistich back up to the microphone here, lead us in song of a very popular Ukrainian song that went viral, that most of us learned at the beginning of the full-scale invasion.
Since we cannot play, we will sing. Ой, у лузі червона калина. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна нажурилася. А ми тою червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. А ми тою червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Марширують наші добровольці у кривавий хан, що зоряти браті українці з московських кайдан. А ми ті московські кайдани розірвемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. А ми ті московські кайдани розірвемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Де хилився червона калина, маєш білий цвіт. Не журися, славна Україно, маєш вільний рід. А ми твою червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо.
Excuse me. Hey, where the hell is everybody? Share the stream out.
Thank you very much.
That was awesome. Why do we have less than 200 people watching?
All
We
right,
have like
everybody.
400 people
Up
watching
next,
me
we
just
have a very
rant.
special guest,
Let's fix this.
Taras Sorodzinsky, youth leader
What
for
is
Stand With
happening?
Ukraine MN. Please give him a warm welcome.
Привет. Hello. My name is Taras Sorodzinsky. I'm a youth engagement lead for Stand With Ukraine Minnesota and Kids for Ukraine. I'm privileged to be the 71st Youth Governor of Minnesota. And I have a message. I have a message on behalf of the youth. Many of you will remember how over 3 years ago, the full-scale invasion began, forever changing mine and millions of lives. Many of our youth in Minnesota were affected, regardless of heritage, Ukrainian-born or not. We were all affected. And within all of us, the sparks of passion and activism were ignited. Many of us were younger then, but the war pushed us to grow up and face harsh realities, even here in the States. You often hear from adults and those older than me, but do not forget that the youth are here too. We have spent 3 years of our young lives already dedicated to this cycle of war. Back then, I was 14, a young teenager struggling to navigate his way in the world. Then the full-scale invasion came. Since then, nothing else has been more important to me than a Ukrainian victory. I will be turning 18 next month, and my Ukrainian-American patriotism only burns brighter. Prominent Yale professor Timothy Snyder, an expert in Eastern European studies, believes that history does not repeat, but it does instruct. Sure, this is not exactly the past, but it sure is close as hell. If history instructs, then how come the world has not learned from the past? Perhaps the current American presidential administration should take a history lesson. And they would learn and understand the repeated oppression, genocide, ecocide, linguicide, and ethnocide of the Ukrainian people. A simple peace deal does not mean anything to the Russians. This cycle must stop. But I warn the world, there's only a finite amount of Ukrainian blood that can be shed before the walls defending democracy and the West fall. It is this possibility and nightmare that everyone should fear. But through all of this, I hope to see the day that my children, my descendants, the future generations will only have to learn of the Russian oppression through their history books. But today we gather, we rally. We must defend the American values to support democracy and the people of Ukraine. Ukrainian Americans, like myself, know what this means better than anyone. We were raised in the American dream with thriving and eternally proud Ukrainian roots. You and I get to enjoy the freedom of peaceful living. No missiles flying over our heads, no disrupted living, no visible horrors of war. But I cannot say the same for my cousins in Ukraine. Ukrainian children, younger than me, traumatized for life. And my heart goes out to the tens of thousands of children abducted by Russia. And my words stop, and my blood curls when I think of the hundreds of youth murdered youth just like me and many younger. This is the Russian effect. This cycle must stop. Someday, I hope to walk the fields of our ancestors, to breathe the Ukrainian air, to hug and smile with my relatives. But we all have a journey ahead of us. Each and every single one of you have joined millions in the march for a justice for Ukraine. Youth, adults, Ukrainian Americans, and friends. You showed up today. You have shown your support, and the future will remember us for it. Because through our unity, through our determination, and through your ongoing support, Ukraine will prevail. Slava Ukraini, glory to Ukraine.
That was incredible. Let's give another round of applause for Taras. Taras's words reminded me of something that I think about pretty regularly, and that's the fact that all of us around the world suffered through the coronavirus pandemic. But while the rest of the world got to exit and move on with their lives, including those of us here in the United States, Ukraine was plunged into war because of Russia, because of conquest, because of wishes for empire. And I know that Ukrainians yearn for peace, but they yearn for a just peace. They yearn for freedom, and they fight for it to this day. That's why we stand with Ukraine. I said at the beginning of my remarks that we're here to show that Ukraine is not alone. Never. Thank you. I'd like to invite our next speaker, Jivila Norvilata Pedersen, to say a few words. She is the president of the Lithuanian community here in Minnesota. Please give her a warm welcome.
Everybody check into the stream, share it.
Hello to our Ukrainian friends, all of you. Hello to our Baltic friends, and to every American who came here today to support and stand for freedom. My name is Jivila Norvilaite Pedersen, and I am Lithuanian, living, working, and contributing to the beautiful state of Minnesota and to the United States of America, our host country. I am blessed to be here. I stand here today representing voices of all Lithuanians who continue to support and believe in the freedom and sovereignty of Ukraine. I can vividly remember, as all of you, the late evening of February 23rd of 2022, when we learned that Russian tanks invaded Ukraine. It felt as if military vehicles of terrorist Russia were charging and destroying my own country. It always felt so close. I chose to be here today because I believe that it is our duty to continue to tell the truth about Russia's imperial ambitions. And standing quiet and staying home and fearing the cold weather and saying I have better things to do is agreeing to the terms of Russia's genocide of Ukrainian people. We understand that Ukrainians fighting for their country today are also fighting for the safety and independence of my country. Thank you. And I also understand that it's extremely difficult to understand the real threat of Russia to countries and people for whom this never experienced this before. And what Soviet occupation brings with it, Lithuanians still remember. We have experienced Soviet occupation firsthand. The human cost of the Soviet occupation was immense, with tens of thousands of Lithuanians killed, imprisoned, deported. Lithuanians still remember. After Lithuania regained independence in 1990 and joined both NATO and European Union, we all thought that the civic resistance against Soviet regime is history. We were wrong. Our voices and messages to the world are needed today more than ever. 3 years of brutal, large-scale Russian military invasion into Ukraine left us all in awe of an incredible determination of Ukrainians. We are in awe. Today we are all in awe. The soldiers that defend their cities and people, the volunteers who have helped them survive the most difficult situations, and the ordinary people, everyday people that fight every day for their country. We are in awe and we admire you and will continue to admire you. Ukraine stands strong. Its people prove that freedom cannot be stifled and hope cannot be destroyed. Lithuanians still remember. And today we remember those who sacrificed their lives for their independence and honor all of those who are still fighting for the peaceful and bright future. I am proud that Lithuania has supported Ukraine in every way possible throughout these years. We will continue to do so. Because we know Ukraine's security is Europe's security. We will never give up. We will never give up. And Baltics will always remember. Slava Ukraini!
So again, guys, we're live in Minnesota at the state capitol, Rotunda. It's packed in here.
Thank you. Indra Akmanis is a representative of the Latvian community here in Minnesota and the Twin Cities. I'd like to ask her to come and say a few words, please.
Good afternoon, Labdien. My name is Indra Ekmanis. I'm an American Latvian and a researcher of Baltic and post-Soviet studies. I am humbled to have the opportunity to address you and bring with me the power and energy of Latvian Americans who have and who continue to stand with Ukraine in defense of their country and culture against Russian aggression. Ukraine today has been forced to fight its fight not only in the trenches, but also on the information battlefield against some of the strongest bully pulpits and disinformation machines in the world. This type of hybrid warfare is something that the Baltic states know well too. When Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania joined NATO and the EU 20 years ago, naysayers said that bringing these countries closer to allies in the West would provoke the Russian bear. This idea that peaceful states on Russia's border who have the audacity to embrace freedom over subjugation are provoking Russia is false on its face. What was true for the Baltics is true for Ukraine. We must not let those around us be gaslit or fall into the trap of warped history, false grievances, or prioritizing the comfort of an aggressor over the will of people who want to live freely.
This is our Capitol building. It's a Capitol Rotunda, Minnesota State Capitol in St. Paul.
The Baltic states know that offering maximum support to Ukraine is critical to countering Russia and ensuring our collective security. When I was born, my father worked for the Latvian division of Radio Free Europe, which, with American support, provided trustworthy news and information during the critical years of the Baltic Singing Revolution and the dissolution of the Soviet Union. In my home growing up, the fragility of freedom of speech, of self-determination, and personal liberty was not an abstract concept. It was tangible. And it was instilled in me from these early days how necessary it is to defend these values. Freedom, democracy, and liberty have long been hallmarks of how America sees itself in the world. And America is at its strongest when it supports these values at home and abroad.
I am here. I'm standing right here.
America's obligations to Ukraine's security are not only codified in the Budapest Memorandum, they are part of the bedrock of American ideals and something that we must remind our representatives in the halls of power to defend. Every day. 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 Today, for the past 3 years since the full-scale, unprovoked Russian invasion, and for the last decade since the Revolution of Dignity, Ukraine has been fighting on the front lines of freedom. This fight is not only for Ukrainian territory, culture, language, and people. It is a fight that Ukrainians have been asked to shoulder for all of those around the world who believe in truth, who believe in democracy, and who believe in self-determination. Those of us who have, or whose families have experienced repression, and those of us who have been lucky enough to never face it in our own lives. We owe Ukrainians an immense debt of gratitude. Yes! And more than ever, we owe Ukraine our support in both word and deed, all the way to a just and lasting peace. Slava Ukraini!
Does my voice sound better now, you guys? My mic is clipped on my jacket.
Thank you very much.
We're live in St. Paul,
Give another round of
Minnesota.
applause, please. All right, folks. I know you've been standing here for quite a while. My feet are getting a little tired. I know yours must be too. So I'm going to let you know we have one more speaker. Before we do that, I think it's time for us to do one more song.
Let's go. You can hear me loud and clear?
Sounds good. All right.
My mic is a little low.
So let's invite our musicians back up to the dais here to lead us.
I'll turn it down. My mic is very loud. Okay. All right, I turn it down a little bit. Is that better?
Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 una mattina mi sono svegliata e ho trovato l'invasor.
Одного ранку, ще й на світанку, земля здригнулась і враз закипіла наша кров, ракети з неба, колони танків, і заревів старий Дніпро.
Oh partigiano, portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire.
Ніхто не думав, ніхто не бачив, яка насправді була українська лють, такий проклятий, безжально мочив, і хто на нашу землю крут.
E se io muoio da partigiano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 e se io muoio
Наші хлопці, самі герої воюють в наших ЗСУ, і джавеліни, і байрактари за Україну б'ють русню.
Seppellire la sua montagna. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E seppellire la sua montagna sopra l'ombra d'un fiore.
А наші люди, а українці проти русні об'єднали вже цілий світ. І скоро зовсім руснів не буде, а буде мир на всій землі. І скоро зовсім руснів не буде, а буде мир на всій землі.
E questo è il fiore del partigiano. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E questo è il fiore del partigiano, morto per la libertà.
Слава Україні!
Thank you very much. For those of you who don't know, that's an anti-fascist ballad that has gained prominence in Ukraine. That's why we sung it in Italian and in Ukrainian. All right, folks, as I said, I promised we'd have one more speaker, and I'd like to invite someone very special up to the dais. Stefani Vaskevich is a founding member of the Ukrainian Village Band and a long-standing activist here in the Minnesota community. Please give him a warm welcome. Hello, everybody.
Слава Україні!
I am also the grandson, I want to begin with saying, of a survivor of the Holodomor, 1932 to 1933. Soviet Union starved to death 5 million Ukrainians. This gives us some perspective on how long Russia has been fighting a war against Ukraine. We heard his name earlier today, but Timothy Snyder, a historian of Ukraine, leading historian in the United States, commented once that Ukrainian history is world history. An observation he made because of the number of times that Ukraine has been at the forefront of world events. Ukrainians are again at the forefront of world events today as a country of people who, by defending their own country from invasion, are also fighting to make the world safer, to make the world a safer place for democracy and freedom. The lines of history are once again running through Ukraine. Ukrainians are determined not to allow Putin to draw those lines. They are determined not to give him a win in his war against democracy and freedom, the shared values of the United States as well. As Americans, we should listen to the voices of those in Ukraine, the majority of whom do not want a ceasefire that gives up 1/5 of Ukrainian territory, and that abandons millions of their fellow countrymen to occupation by a power determined to destroy their culture and democracy and freedom along with it. Please make your voices known to your senators and your representatives. Let them know that Ukrainians' fight is part of your own struggle for freedom and democracy in the world, and that as a U.S. citizen, you understand the U.S. has the resources, and I would add the obligation of great power to help Ukraine win. And that we can do it without asking for anything in return, like control of Ukrainian resources. We should do what is right because it is the right thing to do. So today, as you're leaving, we ask you to leave donations or go online, find Stand With Ukraine Minnesota, an organization that came to life in 2022 and has recently been labeled the Minnesota Miracle for the outstanding degree of work in humanitarian aid it has provided to the people of Ukraine. You can visit Stand With Ukraine's website and see the work that's being done there. There's a good accounting. Also, please visit our Ukrainian American Community Center, or keep an eye out for Ukrainian-related events. Experience with us, as you are today, the pride and joy of our Ukrainian culture firsthand, and see why we Ukrainians are so keen not to give up 1 inch of territory to the murderous Russian regime. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you to our guests from the Lithuanian community, Latvian community, and any other community. Thank you so much. In 2004, yeah, thank you. This means thank you in Ukrainian. In 2004, I participated in the events of the Orange Revolution in Ukraine, when Russia attempted to take control of Ukraine by stealing the presidential elections. The media in Ukraine then was awash with propaganda and alternative facts, towing the Kremlin's line. You can imagine how dismayed I am to see that happening here. What people on the ground in Ukraine at that time had was their personal knowledge, their experiences, and each other, their word of mouth sharing of truths to counter lies. Thank you for helping us counter the falsehoods being told today in the United States about Ukraine. Your presence today shows how much you care about shared values of truth, democracy, freedom, and community. If anything, I hope you feel emboldened to counter lies with truth. So let's think about some truths. Russia is a terrorist state. Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia can end the violence. Ukrainian voices must be included in all negotiations, and they are the principal voices. And Ukrainians, by defending their country, are struggling to make the world safe for democracy for all. Thank you, everyone. Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Thank you. We're going to end on one last song, and I have a few parting words for you, and we're all going to head out after that, but one last song.
Everybody checking.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, through the ocean, life is home.
Thank you both. Thank you everyone for coming and joining us here today. We'd like to invite you all outside. A big part of this is to make sure, as I said at the beginning, that our friends in Ukraine see us, hear us, know that we stand with them. We have the largest Ukrainian flag in the state ready to unroll outside, and we'd like to invite all of you to please join us for a photo op so that we can send that to the people of Ukraine and let them see, let them witness how Minnesota stands with them. On your
can you toss me that?
On your way out, please drop off the big placards in the atrium. We have smaller posters that you can take with you, packets. For those of you who have a smaller poster, please feel free to keep it, but we want to retain those larger placards for the next demonstration. And then last but not least, I know that most of you, if not all of you, are hungry. Ukrainian Flavors is down the road, out of the Capitol to the right. So after we do our photo op, please join us. There's delicious food for everyone. Thank you very much.
Well, what an event, you guys. Sorry, I sounded too loud. Am I too loud still? All right, how about that? Does that sound better? I have a thing I can use. Might be too loud. Is it better now? Love the energy. All right, it's good. All right, we're gonna go outside now. It was packed in here. It was absolutely packed in here. It's chilly outside. Yeah, remember yesterday it was like 70. It was like 70 degrees yesterday, and today is 30 and snow and cold. You can feel the cold. Is it awesome to see it? Hello, hello. Go to the food. It's a food truck. They have a food truck outside. Being outside it's cold today. It's as simple as that. It's not loud. I turned it down a little bit. We're also in an atrium. Hi. Good to meet you too. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're also in like an atrium, so the sound in there is just not the best. Also, perfect example of the reason why I need that live view solo backpack in here. I tried to stream to all the platforms and it was good for like 10 minutes and then cut off relatively quickly. Oh wow. Well, we've been on YouTube. Actually feels good because it was warm in there. So this actually feels good.
Take the picture of it. Let's try to stay inside the railing. So it looks like we're going to get a group photo.
Fuck.
And then between the railings on both sides of the flag. So let's be.
Yep, it's cold.
We have more people coming out?
There's a lot of people in there.
Are you guys, is this okay to hold down? Oh, yeah, we're good. Lots of help, thank you.
Okay, we might have to go. Oh. Yeah, Chris. Do you guys see? I'm gonna change the spam rule as long as it's emojis. I don't care. Emojis are fine. Trolling, not fine. That looks good. We need more emojis. I want it to be like Twitch on YouTube. If you feel like dropping some emojis, drop emojis, just like Twitch.
Actually, does someone have so we have a Ukrainian flag on the side here. Do we have an American flag we can hold on this side? On this side. What do you want with the flag? Like hand, not on the pole? Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
More emojis.
Okay.
back down a little further. Wow. A lot of people. Shit. Trying to get like good picture angles, dude. This is a big one. Oh, okay, and they're doing the whole thing, okay. They're doing the whole photo op. Yeah. They're doing the whole thing, Chris. I know. Shout out to photojournalist Chris June out here, still killing it for Mercado Media. It's chilly. Yep.
Telling me?
It was,
oh my God. Up my kilt.
No, not your kilt. Sure. We need better pictures. Are we losing connection on here? Are we losing the connection, guys? Are we good? Are we cooked? Are we good? Shit, shite. Alright, we're good. Alright, shite.
Could they bend down a little bit?
What a photo. What a photo. I'm trying to get it all together too. Yeah. I was... Minnesota weather. We love it.
Stand with Ukraine! We 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 stand with Ukraine!
Oh boy, it is.
We love you! Slava Ukraini!
Heroям слава!
Slava Ukraini!
Heroям слава!
Slava Ukraini!
Heroям слава!
Thank you!
The wind done picked up. That's a lot of folks up there. GG's. GG's. Okay, let's get up close now. Yeah, that's all good. All done. That's a really beautiful American flag too. I like that one. Real American flag material.
Come on, take the big ones here. Thank you.
Good event. Oh, it's way bigger. Chris is pretty impressed.
That flag, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, that's a nice size flag. Have you seen you saw the Washington D.C. one that from my? Oh, they have one in Washington D.C. that's just absolutely massive. You got some good pics of it.
Yeah, but I was in at a Tesla protest.
How'd that go?
And,
Chris was covering Tesla protests, guys. He's killing it.
One photo. Here it is. Look at that guy's plate. Don't be mad.
Don't be mad. Oh wow.
Excuse me. Did you take the pictures? Is there any way that I could get a copy somehow?
Yeah. Do you?
Because I have a friend on Substack who's from Ukraine.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah.
I'd like him to have
Oops.
a
I'm
picture
just throwing my
of it.
wallet at you. Here, let me. Yeah, here. You can connect with me here. This is Mercado Media.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Let me see if I.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you did. Yes, I did have one.
bringing this to DC next month.
Oh, you going to the Action Summit?
Yep.
I'll be there too.
Right on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What are you doing? I'll give you one at the Action Summit. How about that? My new cards. Yeah.
I had this last year.
Yeah.
I'm having a revisor.
Yeah, you're having.
I've invited Emmer to a fish fry.
You did? Is he going?
We'll see.
We'll see.
We need the bipartisan.
Yeah. He wrote the. I saw he had wrote some comments. I'll read it on my stream later. I hope so.
I saw you at the Trump rally, right?
Yeah. I was out there, of course, bro.
I would have to say cloud too.
Oh, really? All right. You'll be at the Action Summit. We'll talk about that. We're talking about that tonight. Beautiful. The Baltic flag. All the Baltic country flags are so cool. Lithuania, Latvia. Yes, yeah. I'm actually. Yeah, it's windy. It is freaking windy. All right, well, a lot of people, oh wow, look at that. Holy bird, dude, that is some cold wind. There's wind and there's cold wind, and this is some cold wind. Holy, let's go W Latvia. Big Latvia W. Spam Latvian flags in the chat. Let's go. I can actually say I've been there multiple times. Beautiful country. Let's go. W Latvia. Wish I had a Latvian thing to say. So cool. Oh, I know this wind is vicious. It's something serious. We need more protest. Why couldn't they protest yesterday when it was literally 75 degrees yesterday? I messaged Maria. I'm like, can we protest today? Like it's cold. I like your sign. I got to see it really quick. That's awesome. Did you custom make this?
I did.
That's amazing. That's incredible. That's incredible. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I love that. All right, Chris. You gonna go get warm?
I'm down for whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not used to it.
Yeah. I wore the wrong clothes. Oh, hold on. I hear music. It's not a Ukrainian event without multiple rounds of music. It's a Kingdom Come Deliverance, you guys. Show me your wares.
ти казала у неділю, підем разом на весілля, та що поперева, підманула, підвела, ти ж мене підманула, ти ж мене підвела, ти ж мене молодого з ума розуму звела, ти ж мене підманула, ти ж мене підвела, ти ж мене молодого з ума розуму звела. Том було, не один ти, том було, не любити, том було, та й не знати, чи тепер, чи в четвер покидати. Том було, не ходити, том було, не любити, том було, та й не знати, чи тепер, чи в четвер покидати.
Run, Slava! That was fun. More. I love that. Look at that. Yes.
Where's the other speaker? No, take this. Just stay here. Рідна мати моя, ти ночей не доспала, ти водила мене у поля край села, і в дорогу далеку ти мене на зорі проводжала, і рушник вишиваний на щастя дала. І в дорогу далеку ти мене на зорі проводжала, і рушник вишиваний на щастя, на долю дала. Я візьму той рушник, простелю, наче долю, в тихім шелесті трав, щебетані дібров. І на тім рушничкові оживе все знайоме до болю, і дитинство, розлука, і вірна любов. І на тім рушничкові оживе все знайоме до болю, і дитинство, розлука, й твоя материнська любов. Хай на ньому цвіте росяниста доріжка, і зелені луги, й солов'їні гаї, і твоя незрадлива материнська ласкава усмішка, і засмучені очі хороші твої, і твоя незрадлива материнська ласкава усмішка, і засмучені очі хороші, блакитні твої. Рідна мати моя, ти ночей не доспала, і водила мене у поля край села, і в дорогу далеку ти мене на зорі проводжала, і рушник вишиваний на щастя дала, і в дорогу далеку ти мене на зорі проводжала, і рушник вишиваний на щастя, на долю дала. Водька, принеси ще одну колонку, ми білу.
All right. Holy shit, I'm getting windburn. My face is burned. Wind. All right. Yeah, wind is something vicious. Yeah. All right, you're going. If you wanted to go to that, you wanted to hit that food truck. There's a long line out there. truck out yonder, dude. I'm fucking windburn. All right, hey, Chris, my truck's the other way, so I'm gonna bounce. Chris, all right, my truck's over there, so I'm gonna head that way. All right, sounds good, buddy. Yo, my face is like windburn. I don't know. People thought I was like, Mercado, are you even there? It sucks. Wait, I don't know what we gotta do to fix notifications or something. We had under 200 people for like an hour, and if I'm getting like 500 people just watching me ramble at home, we gotta fix that. Is THC recreational in Minnesota? It's legal. It is recreational to a limit. You can't just have unlimited amounts. All right, moisturizer. Yeah, you're gonna need it when I get home, especially now. I'm about to be super dry. All that. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. The first stream didn't work, but we changed the title. What's the title? It should be Minnesota Stands with Ukraine. You didn't get a notification for YouTube? Oh no. All right, make sure you double check, turn your notifications on and off, just to be sure. Turn them on, then turn them off. I'm gonna go warm up and get a coffee. You can still hear the music from this far. I'm gonna go warm up and get a coffee, and then we'll be live at home later, going through the latest within the war. Can't wait to see 600 plus people. And I'll be like, where the hell were you at in Minnesota today? I'll ask him, I'll tell him. I'll say, hey, where were you? All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Go support Ukraine. We'll give you guys fundraising options to support Ukraine later when I get home and I warm up and I can feel my hands again. All right, see you guys then.